I have no idea what happened. But anyways, it's here now, so whatever. Um, it disappeared out of nowhere. Anyway, so I've done one commit. This is the history of what I've done. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another file. So now that you've set up all that stuff, you can just do another. Okay. So now I don't have to set up all the rest of this stuff. I can just do git status, and see it just knows that I've added another. So I'm going to do git add, and then I'm going to do commit and tell it what I've done. This is just a message so you can know what you've done. I added another file. And then you can check the status. Okay, whatever. So then I can do git push, and I'm pushing to the origin again. And I don't need to specify master, I don't think. Let's just try it. Then I can do git status. And so it says everything's up to date. There's no, when you see this, there's no difference between your local copy and the cloud. So let's pray that it shows. Refresh. Okay, so now it's showing on my Git repo. So I can go to test, and it shows you what's in there, whatever. Go back, look at another. I didn't put anything in there, so there's nothing. And then I'm going to do one last thing where I have this, and I'm going to say test. I'm going to go, I added another thing on my third commit, save, close. So I did this. And so like I said, that .git file can detect when I've changed something. So if I do git status, so now it knows that this was modified. And so if I modify like 80 different things, it would show modified this, modified that. You can actually see what you modified, but we don't need that yet. So now what I'm going to do is going to git add, because I'm going to add it again. I'm going to do git status. You don't have to type the status. I'm just showing you. Then I do git commit, added text to my file, and then I would do git commit push to the origin again. And done, git status, everything's fine. So let's refresh, and now you can see text has this. And so this is really important, because if you make mistakes in your code, you can revert to any moment in time in which your last commit was made. So let's say I have 80 commits and I made a mistake, and I have to go back to January 2022 to look at something. I can do that. And one way to do that is, so here's my file. So you don't have to worry about this. We can do this later. But so this is called a CLI. This is command line. But you can put a graphical interface on top of this. And what such interface is tortoise git. And so I want to look at my entire history of things that I've done. And so you can see that history of every commit that I've done here. So, and your messages come up here. So I added another file. This is my first commit, and it shows you what you've added. And I can open these. You can compare them. You can do a whole bunch of things. You actually won't need to care, because you might later, but for now, I think it's enough. And so that's that. So yeah, that's all you need to know about that. And so another thing that you'll need to do, so this is for your own code bases. You always want to ensure that your code bases are in GitHub. But let's say, so there's other repositories. So one is called Hugging Face. This is no different than GitHub, in the sense that this is just another cloud thing that hosts Git technology GitHub is another one. Hugging Face is lots of AI. So for this is a stable diffusion project. And so here is a checkpoint of a model that was created with all of this code. So if I wanted to use stable diffusion, I would download this checkpoint, and it's an artificial intelligent model, and I would plop it into my engine, and then I can use it. You don't need to know what that is, but you do need just to comprehend like what's happening. So all of this stuff is obviously now here. That's our repository. That's what it looks like. And that's 3 commits worth of stuff. And so let's say I want, what would be, okay, well, let's actually just do this. Let's go to my repository. But the same thing would be this. If I wanted this file, then I could click on it, and I can, well, I can actually download it directly, but I don't want to do that. I want to show you how I would download a project. So let's say I'm a public game maker, and I want to show people how to create games. So let's take Asherburn, for instance. This is my game. So I would get this, copy it, and if I want to put it where I want to put it, I'm going to put it in Asher test, delete this. Then I go Asher test, delete this. And all I need to do is git clone, and then I'm just putting, again, this right here. And then I press enter. So I'm downloading an entire project off the GitHub that I can use for my own. And it's quite big, so it's going to take a long time. It's really slow, but whatever. There may be a time, and just use this for the back of your head, I want to remove all those .git files. And so to do that, I don't want to delete all of my, like my folder structure, but I want to remove Git tracking on it. And so in order to do that, okay, here, let me open up another. So if I go cd go dot stuff, cd test, is that right? Yeah, okay, so all of this is being tracked, but let's say I don't no longer want to track it. I want to start from scratch. So this means delete for every folder. I can't remember each switch, but this will traverse through every single folder and ensure that every single .git file is not associated anymore. So if I do this, so it's deleted all this stuff that you don't see, but it's there. But it did delete it. But you can see all my files are still there. So the Git stuff is no longer here. It doesn't even know what this is related to. So if I do Git status, it doesn't even know. There's no Git repository here. I would have to initialize it again. So it's no longer linked to there. In fact, even this is gone. It doesn't know. It's just you're right back to square one with this. There's times where you might want to do that. You don't need to know it right now, but just know that, oh, I really need to delete all this .git stuff. Just remember that it's there. And then this thing is done. So I downloaded, this was empty before, and now I have the entire code base on my computer, and I can make changes to it. So if I do git status, see, it's up to date because I haven't changed anything. But if I went into my game and changed stuff, then I would just have changes, and I could go through there. I think that's basically it. But the key is that you know that this is happening. Each commit is this, because there may be a time where you have AI model 1, AI model, I should have went 0. And when you go to GitHub, it'll show you the latest one because it's master. But you may want a different branch in time. And so you actually might want this one. So that's one reason why we have versioning. The whole premise behind GitHub is for the versioning history. That's it, I think.